Hey guys, it's Mr. Dombey. This is what my name looks like. It's good to meet you. So this is our first in-class drawing activity, and let's get into it right here. So what you're going to need for this are 3 sheets of regular printer paper. These are 8.5 by 11 inches. You're going to want 3 of them, a pencil, and it's a good idea to have a pencil sharpener to make sure it's sharp. Okay, so this is a freehand drawing exercise for you to draw 3 things: lines, straight lines in this case, circles, as well as ovals. Okay, that's what the 3 sheets are for. And we're going to begin with straight lines. It's a very, very useful skill to be able to draw straight lines without a ruler. Okay, it's surprisingly, there's a lot of situations where you're going to want to be able to do that. So here's what you want to start with. Let me demonstrate. If I were to just hold my pencil like this and my paper straight on with me, and I struck a line as if I'm trying to like shoo a fly away, right? That's what that line looks like. It's slightly curved and it's at about 40 degrees right here. All right, that's the natural motion of my body coming from rotating from my shoulders and my elbows. Okay, we want to work with this natural angle when we're drawing freehand straight lines. And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to flip the paper over. What you want to do is rotate the paper, in my case, since I'm right-handed, to my left, rotate it counterclockwise about 40 degrees. All right, so that when I start drawing straight lines, I'm working with the natural motion of my body. Okay, and drawing is a physical act. So here's what you want to do. First, I want you to hold your pencil like this, okay, as far back as possible, with as much length over here as you can get, with the back of the pencil still resting on the on this part of your hand. Okay, what this is going to do is you're going to naturally not be inclined to move your fingers around. All right, we're trying to use the biggest joints we got here, meaning you want your wrists pretty much stationary, fingers frozen, and you're rotating and you're getting all your movement from your elbow and your shoulders. All right, to draw a line, at first I just want you to make this motion back and forth across the top of your paper. Okay, just the motion itself going back and forth. Don't put your pencil down yet, and when you feel like you can see or you can feel yourself getting a sense of, okay, I feel like I'm starting to get a straight line, slowly let your pencil down and draw lightly. Okay, so that's the result right there. It's not perfect like you would get with a ruler, but it's pretty dang good. Okay, we're going to fill this paper up just like that. Okay, keep that same process going. Go back and forth, and when you feel it, it's like, okay, let's strike a line. And don't go back and forth too many times. I mean, what I mean by that is once you put your pencil down, go 1, 2, 3, and maybe that's it. Maybe 4. If you go back and forth too many times, there's a little too much variation. Okay? And you want the lines to be as tight as possible. The spacing between the lines, since this is an exercise, I'm having it be about half my finger width. All right? You could do it, I would say, just so you don't waste paper, do it at most a finger width apart. That would be about here. Okay? So once more. Okay. And just fill your paper up, practicing with these freehand straight lines. And look, if things get a little wonky, don't worry about it. This is practice, all right? It's an activity for you to build some confidence with your draftsmanship skills, some hand-eye coordination, and some muscle memory. Just keep going down your paper. Keep your paper at that natural angle, approximately 40 degrees. If this is a little too difficult for you, what I'd recommend is you start with shorter length lines, meaning I'm using the long side of my paper. If you want to draw lines this way instead, that's fine too, to start with, okay? That's all right. This would be about 8 inches. This is about 11 inches, okay? But I'm going to keep going with this. Okay, pretty good. If I was just doing this on my own and it wasn't for demo purposes, I would have kept the thickness, the space between the lines as tight as I can, like you see over here. But since this is a demo and I want to move on to the other circle and oval drawing techniques, we're going to move on from here. But fill this paper up as tightly as you want to, or at minimum, just a finger width apart, okay? Because you want to practice. All right, second sheet. This time, circles. A lot of the same principles apply, okay? Hold your pencil the same way, as much length as you can get. That'll naturally have you stiffen up some of the smaller joints. We want to use our elbows and shoulders, large movements, okay? Instead of going back and forth, and in this particular case, because it's a circle, we don't have to angle the paper in any particular way. What I want you to do, oops, I made a mark by accident. Yeah, hover your pencil tip over the paper. Don't touch it to the paper yet, like we were doing with the straight line. Make large circular motion. A large circular motion, and when you feel, oops, when you feel ready, slowly let your pencil tip down. 2 to 3 passes only, okay? Let me show you a little bit centered. That's kind of the result you get. This is the kind of thing you can go back in later and clean up. But what we're working on is drawing circles in one continuous motion, okay? Overlapping with each other a bit. If you get this much spread, that's okay. That happens sometimes. It's not always this tight. You can practice enough where you get this kind of result pretty much each time. Oh, and the size of the circle, it wants to kind of go in the palm of your hand to start with. Honestly, if I had larger paper, I would go larger. It's a little easier starting out to do larger motions, but we got to work with the materials we got. Okay, so just keep going here. There we go. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. Golf ball size. And I'm just practicing, really just developing the muscle memory of my shoulders and elbow working together. Make some freehand circles. Fill up your paper. And, maybe some smaller ones for extra practice. Pretty good. Okay, last one. Let's get to ovals. New sheet of paper. With the ovals, you do want to turn your paper at about 40 degrees to work with your body again, okay? Because the ovals have an angle to them, and we want them, in this case, to all be aligned and parallel, meaning there is a center line that you can draw in the middle of an oval. So let's say I want the center of my oval to be approximately there, all right? This is very, very similar to the technique with the circle, except instead of going in a full circle, you're tightening it up in one direction, right? Meaning it's skinnier this way than it is this way. The exact ratio, if we were to estimate, would be about, if this is 1 tall, it'll be about 3 wide, okay? So it's 3 times as wide as it is tall. So let's do that again. Okay, a little smoother. Don't touch the paper with the pencil tip quite yet. Once you feel like you got the motion down, you start seeing and visualizing the oval. Start to let your pencil down slowly. A few passes, 2 or 3, that's it, okay? It takes some discipline. It takes a little bit of discipline to not do this. Like, Although that doesn't look that bad, but sometimes it can look like this, okay? Just 2 or 3 passes at most. Give it a try. I know it can be challenging. You can work through it though. With the ovals, I wouldn't necessarily say larger is easier, as was the case in circles. So, particularly with ovals, I like to vary the size of the ovals. Just get them nice and packed next to each other. Just fill up this paper like that. And I kind of feel like doing a larger one here just to practice. There we go. A little lopsided on this side, but that's okay, right? This is a practice exercise. Small one, a little bit larger. I know I'm doing this pretty quickly. It's just so I can keep this video as concise as possible. But when you do this, take your time with it, okay? Don't feel like you need to go as quickly as I'm going, or if it's feeling natural to you to go about the same pace, don't worry about it. Do what works for you. But the name of the game is to try and keep the shape of the oval as consistent as possible. Meaning, it wants to be symmetrical. Like if I were to split this oval in the middle, the left and right, if I were to fold them onto each other, they want to look as close to very, very even as possible. Same as in this direction. Ovals, this is called bilateral symmetry. Meaning, if I were to fold it along this side, they should meet up. If I were to fold it along this line, they should meet up and be perfectly the same curvature on each side. Okay, finish that up. I'd say that's pretty good right there. So now you have these 3 sheets of paper. And that's it for this exercise. In a separate video, I'm going to show you how to take pictures of these guys and submit it onto Seesaw so that you can share it with me as well as between each other, your classmates. Yeah, that's it for this. Thanks for watching.